Hi, Ryan from A&B here. We're here with Pivot Cycles in Salida, USA, to take a closer look at Pivot's new long travel e-bike, the Shuttle LT. Shuttle LT is a 170mm front travel, 160mm rear, big all-day long travel enduro bike with a motor. Looking at the suspension and the kinematics, Pivot have moved to the vertical shock design. This bike really does mimic what the Firebird has set out to achieve, which is a EWS enduro race bike. They've managed to do that with the introduction of a motor and battery. Pivot sought out a new button, so no longer is a Shimano on-off button used, but this is actually a button produced by Darfon. It has a USB-C port right next to the button, which can be used to either top up and trickle charge a headlight, it can be used to charge your Garmin or navigation device on the front. I think that's a really nice feature. The LT and the SL actually have that feature as well. The two models that we're seeing in Australia are the Ride and the Team. The Ride sees Fox Performance suspension seat posts throughout, and it comes into Australia with a mix of SLX and XT components, and will be $17,500 in Australian dollars. The Team, which we see here, which moves up to DT Swiss 240 hubs, it also moves up to Fox Factory and a mix of XTR 4-pot brakes and XTR and XT components. It's going to come into Australia at $20,999. Pivot have managed to squeeze a 756 watt-hour battery nice and low into this frame. They've managed to do that on all sizes from small through extra large, and they've done that by rotating the Shimano EP8 motor a little bit up, allowing the battery to come and sit a little bit further down in the frame, keeping the center of mass low and centralized in the bike. Recently we've seen the Pivot Shuttle SL, which we'll talk about later as well. A little bit less power. It's got a 430 watt battery, and it's paired with a 60 Newton meter torque Fazua engine, which we'll talk about later, but it's really nice and smooth as well. So it kind of is based around between a Switchblade and a 429 trail, whereas the Pivot Shuttle LT is based around the Firebird. So how does it ride on the trail? Well, we found that the LT is actually the amount of travel that it has and the range of the battery. It climbs really nicely even when it's off. Like, it's obviously a heavier bike. It's 22.5 kilos for the model that we have here, the Team. But with this DW linkage, it is a really efficient climber. So even in eco and trail modes, it pedals beautifully. It's a lot stiffer laterally than the old Shuttle. Out of the saddle pedaling, it feels really nice, really positive. And obviously with the 29-inch rear wheel, even squaring off turns, it feels a lot more precise than its predecessor. The rear chainstay, the rear center, is 441 mils, which is a really nice balance between stability and maneuverability. The head angle in the low position, which we have it in at the moment, is 64 degrees, and it gives a really nice, comfortable position for charging hard, but also for climbing. So this is a bike that you can use for all-day rides. If you're not just riding in boost and you're using like a mixture of trail and boost, you should be able to push the range out to like 5 or 6 hour mark on this bike, depending on the terrain that you're riding. All in all, the Shuttle LT has to be the most refined e-bike, long travel e-bike that I have ridden. A lot of them bob and don't pedal very well, but the DW Link is a really efficient climber, and the fact that there's now a long travel version like the Firebird available to consumers, I think this is going to be a really impressive bike and something that should be considered if you're looking for a long travel full powered e-bike. Hope you've enjoyed hearing all about the Shuttle LT. We've had an absolute blast here in Salida. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Make sure you tune in for the Shuttle SL review as well. We'll be putting that up shortly. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.